Okay, everyone, so I tried to go live. Didn't work out very well. Said I had an unstable connection. But I just wanted to talk about something. I wanted to kind of give everyone a working overview, maybe a few little bits of knowledge about culture shock. Now, I don't know what it is, all people coming from all areas. Here's Kaylee. But I can speak from my experience. I spent the first 22 years of my life in Southern California, so I know that area pretty well. Spent the last 18 years here in Oklahoma, so I know this pretty well. Totally different cultures, by the way, California and Oklahoma. And one of the things, I just want to talk about some of the differences in the cultures, not just California to Oklahoma, but the U.S. in general to the Philippines. Culture shock that Americans, I know this is a big issue, it's come up a lot lately. And, just kind of let people know, prepare them. No matter how much you know, you're never really prepared for it until you experience it. They culture shock as an American going to the Philippines, but also culture shock as, say, if a Filipino were coming here to the U.S. or specifically Oklahoma. There's a lot of culture shock there, trust me. One of the things you might have to, if you're a Filipino coming, say, to California, I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of problem. There's not a whole lot of shock there because there are a lot of Filipinos in California. A lot. But there's also a lot of other people there that you will still get a little bit of shock out of. And you're going to have all kinds of people around you, a melting pot, people that you never even knew existed. If you're an adventurous person and you're not afraid to just jump in and blend in and learn new things and respect other cultures and appreciate it, then yeah, California is a great place. You will be much more comfortable there. Here in Oklahoma, well, it's a little different. It is a slower pace of life, especially here in the small towns. So that kind of, I know a lot of people would agree with that. It's, well, it's hard to describe. But one thing here in Oklahoma, you will see a lot, quite frequently, that you will never see in California. And you usually don't see it in the Philippines. Usually, once in a while, is your normal, everyday, average person carrying a gun. Here in Oklahoma, guns are a way of life, and it's not because it's violent. It's not because you have to have it to protect yourself. It's kind of like a multi tool. It's part of the culture. People here are very strongly in favor of supporting our Constitution. And the Second Amendment of that Constitution, states that everyone has the right to carry a firearm. We can legally possess it, own it, and freely carry it because that's how you prevent a tyrannical government. The only way to stop a bad government from taking over and doing bad things, taking advantage of the people, is if the people are well armed and have the power to stop them. That's part of the mindset here. It may not necessarily be true, but that's the mindset of people here. Not to mention, here guns are just, they're tools like anything else. They're like a wrench or a screwdriver. You know, yes, you carry them for protection. You carry them just in case something happens. You know, you want to be able to protect you and your family and anyone who's around you. But, you know, they're also, I mean, this is farm country. This is a farming area. I mean, you get I'll say some of these farmers around here that grow wheat or corn, they will get these swarms of these little tiny black birds. And I mean, the swarm is so big, they will black out the sky. Millions of these little black birds. And all they do is come down and eat the farmer's crop. Doesn't matter, corn, wheat, whatever it is, they'll eat anything. And that's a big disruption to the farmer's income. You know, he can't live if he can't raise enough crops to make enough money to sell to support his family. So guns come in handy there. I mean, a lot of times, you know, the farmer, that's why they use shotguns. They'll go out there and, you know, every time you pull the trigger on a shotgun, you can have 300-400 tiny little pellets coming out of that barrel. So that's potentially 300 or 400 of these little birds with every shot. Not to mention the noise and the smell of the gunpowder will scare most animals away. So they can save their crops, save their livelihood. Believe it or not, deer and wild pigs destroy a lot of farmland here. So once again, guns. Now obviously you're not going to shoot at a wild pig with a shotgun. It would just make him mad, if he even noticed it. But, you know, rifles, pistols, everything like that, that's what that's for. A lot of times people here will use a pistol as what we call a snake gun. You know, you take it with you when you go fishing. Because when you're sitting on the riverbank and you're fishing, there's a lot of snakes around here. And if you're walking through the tall grass, one can pop up real quick. So the best way to take care of the situation, a lot of them are poisonous. I mean, you're dead in a couple hours after that thing bites you. Yeah, there you go, Kaylee. And, you know, anti-venom may not be available. Every hospital doesn't have it. So you got to protect yourself, not just from other people, but from nature, from animals. You know, that's just how it goes. The gun is a very useful tool. It's a big part of our history. It's a big part of the culture. It is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people support it, some people don't, but, you know, it goes by area. What's best for, you know, what's best here, you know. She's talking. You know, what works here may not work everywhere. But that's definitely a shock that I think, well, most of the Filipinos I know either have had when they came to Oklahoma or would have if they did. You know, just the shock of how open it is. I mean, you go to the store, you want a gun, you go to the store, you fill out a couple of pages of paperwork, they call it in for a background check. In about 5 minutes, they say, okay, you're approved. You pay for the gun. They ask you if you'd like to buy any ammunition with it. If you do, then hey, okay, yes, I'd like a box of ammunition. And, you know, they hand it to you and you walk out the door just like any other purchase. Minus, you know, except it's got a background check, but background checks are pretty quick. It's really nothing to worry about. It's not going to ruin your day waiting for 5 minutes for a background check. But, you know, you go out and you throw the thing in the trunk of your car and you take off and This actually happened shortly after Rose got here. I decided to take her to a gun show. And we got there, we looked around, and of course, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I had to have something. So I bought me a new pistol. I think it was a little Smith & Wesson 40 caliber. Don't remember what model number. I don't even have it anymore, but I bought that, got outside, threw it in the trunk of the car, started home. And on the way there, next thing you know, on the highway, there's a police car or a highway patrol car behind us. And she started freaking out. She started really seriously freaking out. She's like, oh my God, what if they pull us over? And I said, so? What if he does pull us over? You know? She goes, but you have a gun in the car. I said, yeah, and I'll show it to him if he wants to see it. You know, I mean, I'm proud of it. I just bought a new toy, basically. And she didn't understand at the time that it just wasn't, it's not the same as being caught with a gun in your car if you're driving in the Philippines. That could be bad, especially if you're a foreigner. But, it's more relaxed in our area than it is a lot of areas in Oklahoma. But, the big cities, they have different local regulations simply because they have different problems. But in our area, it's never been a problem. I mean, most people here they own a small arsenal. I mean, they may have 20, 30, 40 guns in their house. Me, I don't have that many. I wish I did, but I just can't afford them. It's a very expensive habit. Everyone talks about the AR-15s and how big and bad they are, but I'll tell you, not as many people have them as you think. Because those guns can be, well, some of the cheapest ones are like $1,000 US. And it's really expensive. Most people can't afford that. And that's for the cheap ones that you probably wouldn't want to shoot anyways. They wouldn't last very long. They're poor quality. But, on the other side of things that, say, Americans might be shocked by going to the Philippines is how polite people are in the Philippines. I mean, that shocked me the first time I was there. Everyone, called me sir. Everyone always seemed to fall all over themselves just to make me happy. And at first I thought, my God, they're treating me like a celebrity, but I didn't realize that they were treating everyone that way. That's just how it is. They show respect. People here in the U.S., a lot of them, they will not show respect to a stranger. Respect here is something that has to be earned. You can't just expect someone to show you respect. You have to earn their respect. But over there, that shocked me. It's like everyone was friendly, everyone was polite, they showed respect, that was unnerving for me. I wasn't used to that at the time. And actually made me a little paranoid, because here in the U.S., if someone's that nice to you and you don't know them, usually means they want something from you. Either they're trying to sell you something, or they're trying to scam you, or, something. So you have to as an American, you kind of have to get over that when you go over there for the first time, because a lot of people, they're genuinely honest and friendly. Of course, once again, it depends on the area you go to. Everything varies by area here. Well, everything varies by area over there as well. You know, I'm pretty sure it's the same anywhere in the world. People are different according to what area they're in. It's normal. And if you don't understand, the general consensus of everything where in the area where you're in, where you're traveling to, then you're going to have a hard time. You may not have the best experience. It's worth it to definitely know a local or two. Someone you trust, someone who can kind of advise you on things, on what, to do, what not to do, and what's normal, what's not normal, what's okay, what's not okay socially. Because it'll save you a lot of headaches and stress in the end. But another thing I noticed in the Philippines that kind of shocked me at first was, well, for me it seems different, but I would call it a lack of privacy. But it's really not that. It's, as Americans, we really, a lot of us anyways, really value our privacy. Well, privacy in a lot of places in the Philippines is pretty much non existent. You're not going to be alone no matter where you go. I mean, yeah, in some of the bigger cities, yeah, you can probably manage it. You have that one room in your house or apartment where you just like, okay, this is my room, nobody comes in. As an American, that's how we relax. Well, as me, that's how I relax. Now, I know a lot of Americans do the same. I can't speak for all. But, we enjoy that. We enjoy not constantly having people around. That's fine a lot of times, but there's sometimes we just need time to relax, and the way to do that is to just kind of be alone in a dark room. Maybe not dark, but, a room that we're comfortable in. And that's how, we relax, a lot of us. But, I noticed, especially out in the province in the Philippines, one thing you will have to get used to is that there is almost no privacy. It's okay, Kaylee. Sorry. The little one's throwing a little bit of a fit. She wants to be picked up. But there's almost no privacy when you go like out to the province. When you live the regular life that everyone else there lives, and there's not a whole lot of privacy. I mean, you have your house, yeah, but people are always stopping by. And they always want to see you, because if you're out in the province, well, you're the talk of the town. You're going to have friends, neighbors, relatives, everyone else stopping by to say hi, but then they stay there for several hours, and it's never ending until people really get to know you, and the shock kind of wears off, so they don't come around so much. And that just really got me at first, but well, I'm sorry, guys. I had a lot more I wanted to talk about, but it looks like I'm going to have to cut this one short. I'm going to have to find out what this little thing wants, and then maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. Alright? See you later, everyone. Say bye, Kaylee. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. And maybe you just want to be on camera. Yeah. You like seeing yourself, huh? Okay. We'll see you next time, everyone.